Welcome back to Capital 10X. This is Dwayne Hope. Once again, we're speaking with James Lanthier from Mindset Pharma. So can you provide some more color on the partnership, how it came about, and then can you also outline some of the details on the partnership as well?
For those who don't know, Otsuka is a top global neuroscience company. When they're mainly focused on mental health and central nervous system disorders. So at a high level, we couldn't pick a better match for a partner for Mindset. They've been involved with, in a more limited way, with two other companies in the psychedelic space. They were a financial investor in Compass, and they're also a partner in Japan on a formulation of a drug with the division of Atais. This is their first foray into new psychedelic drugs, and it's the first foray of first partnership of any global pharma company with a psychedelic biotech. So it really is pretty groundbreaking. When we met them a year ago, it was clear that they were already, because of this background, really well up to speed and on the space and on the science. And we went through a really exhaustive diligence process with them, where they really looked at all the data that we've generated so far, all the patent applications. They did, months worth of diligence on Mindset that really exceeds anything that even a sophisticated biotech investor could do. So it's really a huge endorsement of the strength, of our programs. We're tremendously excited about the partnership. We think that the terms of the partnership are really advantageous. What we're doing with them is collaborating with them on two of the four families of our new drugs. The financial terms are really attractive. They've made an upfront payment to Mindset of $5 million US. But in addition to that, they're also sponsoring the development expenses of those two families all the way through to the end of phase 1, which could end up being a much larger number than that $5 million. So, and all of that funding is non-dilutive. So none of it goes against the Mindset share capital or shareholders today. So it's really pretty attractive. And in return, what they're getting is a right of first refusal on negotiating a new deal on those families at the end of phase 1. So once we, if we're hopefully able to get to some successful outcomes through phase 1, then we have an opportunity to negotiate what should be, a much larger deal with substantially bigger economics. So we're tremendously excited about it. We also get access to all of their operational expertise and I think in some ways that's even more valuable than simply the funding.
Can you give us some details in regards to what families this partnership will explore?
The deal is the partnership is specifically on Mindset's two short-acting families. So if you recall from some of our earlier discussions, Mindset has really four families of new drugs. And a number of them have seemed to potentially solve one of the main issues with psychedelic drugs as therapies, which is duration. That was Otsuka's particular area of focus. So the focus is going to be with Otsuka is going to be on those two families working together in partnership. They'll be funding the development. We'll be working collaboratively, but really using a lot of their expertise. And I think it's great that we have a partner that's coming in on such fair and favorable financial terms, but also really prepared to do a lot of this really heavy lifting to help us get these drugs to the clinic.
Could you talk some more about the financial impact of this deal, this particular partnership, and the impact it has for your long-term research and development requirements?
It's great. It's probably the lowest cost of capital financing that we could find, and it's from a strategic. So it's as good as it could get. as I mentioned, $5 million upfront payment, but then they're also funding separately the development expenses. And then in addition to that, we are going to be really, not having to do what a lot of other folks might, have to be doing if they were going to be advancing drugs on their own. We're not going to have to be going out and hiring consultants to help us through the regulatory process, manufacturing experts. We can really leverage internal expertise from Otsuka, who are world-class at doing this. So I think there's an even bigger, cost that we'll be able to avoid incurring, through this deal. It really solves our capital markets needs. We're not going to have to go back to the market to raise new equity capital to finance the development of these drugs. So it's a huge win from a bottom line standpoint and hugely advantageous to Mindset shareholders.
So what are your catalysts now for 2022, now that this particular partnership's been established?
There's a lots more to come from Mindset. So now our focus, with families 2 and 4 is going to be working together in partnership with Otsuka and moving towards one or more IND applications on those 2 different families. And in addition to that, we're going to continue to move our first lead candidate, MSP 1014, forward, which we think is really a kind of a second generation psilocybin. Profiling is stronger and safer than psilocybin, which we think it has a lot of value. And we're also expecting, my guess is we're seeing lots of partnership interest across the other families. We still have 2 other families, family 1 and family 3. And I think we'll likely be getting to some commercialization around those families at some point in 2022. In addition, we're expecting the great thing that this deal does really is it lets us continue to focus on the discovery work. So we get to continue to do, more drug discovery. We think that there may be there's other classes of psychedelic drugs that we can apply what we've learned from these first 4 families too, and we'll keep filing more IP. The more IP we develop, the more opportunities we have to partner. So expect to see more on that front from us in 2022.